Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Forge of Champions. We apologize about the delays. We had a few issues, but we've been ironing out, sorting out everything for the game. But we are getting ready to go into our first matchup of the day, which is going to be NVision versus Barrage. So, how are we feeling about this one? We had a little bit of talk about people who eat wood lice and garlic flavored lollipops, but now we're going to talk about the game, talk about the matchup. What are we expecting into picks and bans?
All right, so we said a little bit already about the bottom lane. Kai'Sa, basically, are we going to see Kai'Sa Nautilus versus Xayah Rakan? Those are sort of your go-to bot lanes right now. And that, that's probably because they're pretty strong. If those are taken away, there are options such as, as we've already mentioned, Tristana is coming out. I think Lucian's actually a lot stronger than people give him credit for, and I wonder if someone will want to pull that out as a sort of bully type pick. And then the Kiana would be the other thing I'd want to keep an eye on. Is it going to turn up?
Alrighty, well, we've loaded into picks and bans. Yuumi gets taken away. Pantheon as well here. Pretty standard bans across the board. I have to see what they decide to take away as well. The Kai'Sa. This is one of the things we were talking about, because you said earlier,
if
before the break,
bans it, red side just has to ban Xayah on the spot, because otherwise you're just giving up you're just giving a free Xayah over, and then you have no Premier ADC. The only thing you could maybe pick into Kai'Sa would be like the Kog'Maw, which we haven't seen for a while, but it is the sort of OG counter to Kai'Sa. And it has been seen.
Kai'Sa's banned. We're talking Xayah.
Yeah, we are talking about Xayah, aren't we? Oh, I got nothing then. Ban Xayah.
All right, well, there's the Syndra ban. Again, technically a flex towards the mid lane ban, but we have seen it in the mid as well. So quite a flexible pick. Don't want to give that over. For the most part, we're seeing NVision actually just ban away the standard things you expect. Sure. The Pantheon and the Syndra normally get banned red side. So no surprises really there. Now Barrage is onto them. What do they want to take away as their final ban before we move into the next stage? Before we see what is going to be open for them to first pick?
All right, well, it looks like Elise is going to be taken off the table, but there are still quite a few junglers that you can pick. Rek'Sai, Gragas, and Lee Sin. If ever you don't know what the jungle meta is, it's pretty safe to just assume it's Rek'Sai, Gragas, Lee Sin, Elise. It feels like for the last couple of years, every time Worlds rolls around, people are just like, well, let's go back to those. So I have to see, will one of those be the ban? But it just has to be the Xayah.
Yeah, they do take that away, so that's not going to be open here. What do Barrage want to pick up now? His Premier AD carries have been taken away, but they decide to maybe think about something towards that bot lane if they like. They could go for the Ezreal, something safe. The Varus is still open. Still a fair few options to the Barrage. Taking a moment to think about what they want to pick up, though.
Yeah, definitely a lot of options, and you just have to go for something powerful, something flexible. Akali is a fine option to fill that gap.
How could I forget that Akali was open?
I had something in my head that was like really strong. I instantly forgot.
Something missing.
It went in for like 5 seconds in and out. Interesting if they do go for the Nautilus, because Kai'Sa has already been taken off the board, but it looks like NVision decide they just want the Nautilus anyway. Still a very strong champion.
Looks like they just want to set themselves up for some early CC, some early gank potential here. The Nautilus, combined with that Jarvan as well, actually. Pretty strong picks here for NVision.
A lot of dive already. I wonder if we'll see the Rek'Sai come out as a counter to the Jarvan. Yeah. Because Rek'Sai, obviously, you can just unburrow whenever Jarvan goes on you. One of Rek'Sai's greatest strengths is her ability to just stop those hard engaged champions.
Alrighty, well, Barrage, what do they want to now pick up? Definitely thinking about what they want to lock in. They do want to try and see if they can get something that can gank early, is what I'd expect. Okay. Answering some CC, something can set up for the gank with the Leona in the bot lane. Gonna answer that out with the Nautilus and now Barrage. 20 seconds left before they look to lock in either an AD carrier, top lane. There's so many open. There's a lot open to this. Kali's completely open. I would like to see him pick up a jungler here. Something like that, Lee Sin. Something that they can, work with. Okay. And there's the Rek'Sai.
I was thinking it kind of has to be the ADC though, because now you are in a very rough spot, because Leona doesn't work with everyone. Like, you're not playing Leona Sivir as your bot lane, right? She needs a strong ADC that has the burst to go with her engage. Likewise for the Nautilus. So NVision just have the advantage here, because they can pick whatever they want if they want it now, and then ban any possible options, such as Tristana would be really strong with both of these lanes.
It looks like they're going to lock in the Ezreal. A nice safe pick. Offers them a bit of poke. Offers them a fair amount of damage. Obviously, there was a few changes to Ezreal a while back, so now he's not really hard scaling off the AP, so we most likely won't see too much of that hybrid build. Most people opting into the Triforce and the Blade of the Ruined King and going full AD on that Ezreal. There's the Tristana ban, like you said. So I expect actually something like a Lucian as well to get taken away. Just pick away two things that will just combo really well with that Leona. And then force Barrage into maybe something a little bit more passive to go with the Leona.
Sure. And if you get that, you are really doing well against this Leona pick right now, because she's really good at all-in and against all-in, especially after changes to her W. Something like an Ezreal that can just constantly poke her out and just keep dodging away from her engages and buffering through those CCs is going to have a really nice time. On top of that, you've put the Ezreal with a Nautilus, which isn't really a strong lane in itself. Yes, you have some burst with the Ezreal W, things like that, but Ezreal's so safe that he can just chill whilst Proper Panda goes off and roams.
All right, well, there's the Renekton lock ban away. The Lucian, like I said, is also going to be taken away here. So NVision definitely tunneling in onto those 80 carries. 380 carries, 480 carries total removed from this game. Right, well, Barrage, what has been left open for them? The Veigar gets taken away, and now, like you said, Caitlyn is potentially
I think
open.
it has to be Caitlyn. Like, Caitlyn's not good versus Ezreal. He's one of the few champions that can outpoke her. But actually, Ashe available as well. Ashe might have a pretty decent time here. So there are still options, and Ashe does have that CC engage as well. So definitely expect to see Spark on one of those two. Maybe the Varus as well. But I think the most optimal options have been taken off the table here.
Yeah, they are going to pick up the Kayle here for NVision. Most likely for Intorius in the top lane. We did see him play it yesterday. And now Barrage, what do they want to go for? I mean, you're not meant to talk about hovers, but if they actually did lock in the likes of maybe a Draven, at least that's something that has the burst and the damage to go along with that Leona. But they decide that's not going to be the case. They want to go for a Cho'Gath, pick themselves something comfortable to go in that top lane. And now looking for their AD carry, looking to round out their comp. A few options still open to them. A lot of these S tier ones being removed. And let's see what they decide to lock in.
I think you have such a strong front line with the Cho'Gath. Great dive with the Leona and the Akali. You just need some more engage to go there. I think Ashe is an amazing choice here with the Leona and something that has managed to slip through the cracks.
Yeah, they do get themselves a lot of hard engage here now. They can throw out the Ashe arrows, throw out the Leona ults, and they've got lots of follow-up as well. The Akali able to dive onto that target. And team fighting will be a lot of CC, a lot of slows to work through, and a big, juicy front line in Icebreaker on the Cho'Gath as well. NVision now looking to round out their comp. They're looking for most likely a mid laner, but potentially a top laner as well.
Honestly, Yasuo. Okay. I think it would have been pretty nice. You got the knockups from the Nautilus and the Jarvan, would ruin the Ashe, but...
Yes, but they do put themselves something that is a typical counter of the Akali in the mid lane. Oh, yeah. They go for the Aftershock on the Lissandra, something that can just lock her in place, not take too much damage, and just sustain through that laning phase versus D.Va on this Akali. We've seen D.Va play this before, and he went 1v4, I think, the last time we saw him play it, or the last kind of memory I have of him on this champion was him going 1v4 versus Eminem, I believe, as well. Was it Eminem?
I remember some.
Or was it XL?
We've seen a lot of 1v4s.
They beat XL, so I think it was versus XL. Right. Dude popped off, basically.
What actually matters is if D.Va takes cleanse or not. Because I still have PTSD from Worlds last year when Caps played this matchup and didn't take cleanse. Oh no, he played Aurelia. Didn't take cleanse versus Lissandra. Got absolutely clowned on. And if you're D.Va hit, you get hit by one bit of CC from the Lissandra. Suddenly Proper Panda's in your lane. Suddenly Antero's in your lane. And you're having a really rough time. So
not going for it. Wants to go for the teleport. Wants to be able to get and play around the lanes and around the mobility he can get on the map. So we'll have to be careful, though, because like you said, that CC is going to be really, really dangerous for him. So I'm curious to see how that's going to kind of affect his laning phase, because obviously it means he's going to have to play with an added layer of caution because he doesn't have the ability to cleanse all that CC. And when level 6 hits, sure, he's extra mobile because he's got his ultimate, but you can't be mobile if you're locked in place by the Frozen Tomb.
Yeah, you do have a little bit of leeway when you're in the Shroud, of course, but for the most part, there's a lot of AoE as well on the side of NVision. So if you do get hit by the Nautilus ult, yeah, you can Shroud it, but everyone's going to see where it knocked you up. The only thing you're really going to be able to get away from in that case is a Cataclysm.
Yeah, well, picks are locked in. Getting ready to find out who is going to be making it into this upper bracket final with the advantage going forward into tomorrow's games, and who is going to be one step closer to being knocked out and going into the lower bracket. Barrage versus NVision. These are our two UKLC teams remaining here in Forge of Champions. Both of them in that relegation zone. Both of them playing for their lives in 2020. I'm so excited to see how this goes. Remember, NVision, they only joined us in summer, and they're now back in Forge of Champions again, back playing for their lives. And remember, last time they were in Forge of Champions, they came second. But they came second. That's the key thing. Second won't cut it this time. There's only one spot remaining here in the UKLC Spring 2020.
We'll have to see if they have their promo relegation buff or not, because they looked amazing. Like you said, they were only second place last time round. Then during the regular season, not so much. But then again, you know, yesterday and the day before, looking pretty good. One thing I think that might just sort of be the major downside for them is the Ezreal pick. Yes, you have the safety if you want Proper Panda to go off and roam with the Nautilus, but it's just the fact that that could have been a Tristana pick. That's Tristana. You don't have to ban Tristana. You can ban the Ashe, and then you can flex that Tristana somewhere else if you need to. I think that they've put so much effort onto stopping that bot lane. There's your 3 ADC bans, and then you left open like something that was still like a top 3 AD pick to go with that Leona.
Just pulling away from the game.
All right.
Just looking at the wig and looking at you. It's not Annie, dude. It's not Annie.
You know what?
You look like
you told me this was an Annie wig when you.
I did, but it doesn't look like Annie on you.
It's too burgundy.
You look like the girlfriend from Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I have not seen it.
I saw it once. I'm going to say something pretty controversial here. I think it's a highly overrated movie.
I agree. I looked at it and I saw it and I seen a few clips and I thought that is not great.
It's
I can't. I just can't.
I think it's a bad film. I just think it was. Everyone got very excited by it, but
I just don't like cringe. You know. Which doesn't.
Why are you on this show
well
then,
with
mate?
my lifestyle. But
yeah, I was about to say.
It's like Michael said. It hit too close to home. You know.
Alrighty. Well, we did see a potential kind of group there by the Barrage boys. They do get spotted out by the flag from Ontario.
All right, yeah, so nothing too spicy going on there. Be interesting to see, though, how Monkeys wants to path out. Remember, he has got this Hail of Blade, so he actually has a lot of burst if he wants to look for some early fights. And oh, look at that free ward for Artorias. Klepto's broken. Oh, free money for Icebreaker. Auto attack resets are broken.
Free money. And look at that. He comes up 10 gold ahead. Works out.
And a bit of XP, which actually does end up meaning quite a lot there. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get him a level or anything like that, but it's still quite nice.
All right, well, Ontario actually... the red side start doesn't mean he has the ability to potentially go top early if he wants to try and set Artorias up, because obviously we know that Kayle needs a bit of investment, a bit of time before she really starts to get into that comfortable position. But for the moment, Icebreaker is just going to be fairly comfortable with the grasp and with his W just to zone Artorias out and walk into melee range and just auto.
Well, we'll have to see what Antera looks for. I think that we're not going to see any sort of vertical jungling going on here because he did get a fake leash from his bottom lane, so Monkeys has no reason to believe that there is anything for him in that side of the jungle. And so it looks like pretty standard, and Ontario will end up at that bot lane around about the level 3 mark, which is a very nice time to be there. However, no combat summoners for his bot lane. Proper Panda actually ended up running the cleanse in this matchup.
Artorias now trying to trade back here versus Icebreaker. The knockup might just be enough. Icebreaker has a lot of damage there onto Artorias. Artorias still has the corrupting potion. He had cookies as well, so just gonna have to...
That's actually all 3 stacks gone already. The Time Warp Tonic definitely saved him a lot there, but he's already actually just going to look for the recall. He's going to get the biscuit in 10 seconds. Maybe he'll stay, but maybe he just doesn't want to risk it.
Not worth the risk. He was going pretty low. He's going to get himself a ward, restock on those potions, and gonna have to burn that teleport very, very early. And this does mean now Monkeys free to invade and actually take away these Raptors here from Ontario, who is low on mana, has got his blue buff, but Monkeys smites that away. He's gonna be able to pick it up. A Barrage, really solid start here early for them. There's D.Va roaming over as well with the shove in this mid lane, making sure his jungler gets out scot-free, and a solid invade from Barrage to start this game off. 3 minutes in, and already their solo lanes are already getting so much priority for their jungler.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a really nice read from Monkeys there as well. When you're versus these champions like the Jarvan and the Lee Sin, when they start Machete, they often struggle with the chickens very early on. And so you know that you can just sort of wait for them to come back.
Torres gets knocked up here. Icebreaker does have his Rupture. Torres has to flash away. No summoner spells for him, and he's going to have to recall once again. Already bleeding out 8 CS in this top lane, and that deficit is only going to get bigger.
And this is really rough. No teleport available, but this is what you have to do to shut down a Kayle. You just have to try and force her out of lane as much as possible because you know she is going to scale. And if your Cho'Gath cannot keep up, you're going to be pretty doomed in that regard. But the excellent early trading from Icebreaker really has helped out a lot in this matchup.
D.Va going for a very strong trade here onto Man by Day. Doesn't have the mana, sorry, the energy to use one more 5-point strike. Man by Day's going to be able to get out there, but again, these solo laners from Barrage doing so much work, and it means Ontario can look to try and play something towards this bot side if he wants, because his solo lanes are in a bit of a rough state at the moment.
Yeah, they're not looking too hot. We see the teleport just does have to come down from Mad My Day, so it's kind of no harm, no foul. But D.Va was able to set up a real nice freeze and catch quite a lot of those creeps there, so we'll have the more advantageous recall. I think might just be enough to pick up the Cutlass there, having 40 CS, which is going to be a nice nice spike for sure.
Diva's got himself a big CS lead here. Still got that teleport as well. Well, Mamade hasn't got his. Already used it.
Oh, not quite got the Cutlass there. Let's see what he's looking for. Bear in mind he didn't recall on that wave. Probably is now looking to just make sure he can finish the Cutlass instead of just getting a gun, what you call it, the revolver.
X-Tech revolver, yeah.
That's the one.
Icebreaker's just doing so much work here. Look at the CS deficit already. It's growing more and more by the moment. And Notorious will finally be able to get some time to pick up a wave, but this means Icebreaker can move around, try and play some vision and get some control for his team. Just going to place a few walls to make sure he can continue to play up in the lane. Ontario making a gank happen from the river.
Right, well, we do see a bit of an invade coming from Proper Panda here, and he does have the backup of Antero.
It does need to be careful though. He takes a knock up Diva, hanging over the wall, does get himself the flag. The drag Monkeys has to flash away. Maybe overstaying a little bit here. Now Fastleg just way too late to the party. Barrage's jungler maybe overstaying there.
Yeah, nice movement from NVision. They know that the Leona is recalling. Spark does have the teleport available if they absolutely need it, and a full-on fight breaks out, because we saw something pretty similar yesterday in the same place. And so they know, it's just, yep, we'll just move up, bring in our mid laner as well, but maybe we see another gank here.
Oh, Shuriken Flip. They're going to actually use the Frozen Taunt. The Clue is going to get used, and Monkeys lands the Prey Seeker, but he's only level 4. Really doesn't want to go for that tower dive. Infernal Drake is going to get spotted and stopped here. Barrage move their members down, and the reset is going to happen. They're not actually going to attempt it themselves. Notorious now trying to play up, trying to catch up with this CS deficit that has just been growing more and more by the moment. So now Diva feels a little bit more comfortable to step up. Mamade doesn't have his R available, and he's going in for the tower dive. That's just first blood to Diva. Nice and simple.
Yeah, I mean, Mamade felt more comfortable to step up, but he really shouldn't have. He does have the flash, but no mana, no ult, and Diva knows this, so just the second he oversteps, knows he can take that Shuriken on in.
Notorious now hit level 6 will slowly start to be able to stack up those waves as Barrage retire. Sorry, this isn't retire. This is the full Barrage. The real ship is here.
This is the young whippersnappers. No retirement here.
They're going to get themselves an Infernal Drake because they are on fire at the beginning of this game. However, gold deficit's not massive yet. They need to try and start to grow that while they've got the chance. Because remember, like you said, if the KO gets some time, if the KO gets into this game, it's going to be a real problem here for Barrage in the late game.
All right, well, Antero might be looking for something up here. Could have been good timing if Icebreaker looks to make a fight happen there, but that Inferno is just real nice timing. I mean, if you have the kill on mid, you know, you've got everyone else there. You've definitely got mid priority on account of the fact that Mamade is just dead. And now Icebreaker might be soon to follow.
There is looking to come in. Icebreaker does have that silence available to him, but with the feast, with a 2-level advantage over Anterio and a level over Taurus, he's feeling pretty comfortable right now. Gonna step up. Flag and Drag's going to get used on Icebreaker. He's able to just farm out the wave. Here comes Monkeys. Icebreaker flashes forward, goes in for the slow. Taurus does have the Divine Judgment. Cataclysm not available yet, and that's just going to be an easy knock-up and an easy kill for Monkeys. Icebreaker uses the Devour. The Void Seeker comes in. Sorry, the Prey Seeker as Anterio goes down. A double kill for Monkeys. Barrage find 2 in the top lane.
And that's a real nice reaction from Monkeys there, you know, just to see that Antero really overstepping there as well, like, walking up for an auto and then EQing out. And the second you see that, like, oh, cool, I'll just come up and pick him up. He has no Cataclysm, no combo, and a nice double kill to get the ball rolling on this Rek'Sai. Champion that has so much pressure over the map because of the tunnels, just so much move speed she has. If you get her ahead, real easy to start getting the rest of your lanes ahead as well.
All right, well, you see in the bot lane as well, level 6 has been hit for KDO. Fastleg still a little bit of a way off. Shouldn't be too long before he hits that. And then the CC squad in the bot lane is set up, and it's just easy ganks for Monkeys and for Diva. They have so much setup available to them. Spark can only dodge so much.
Yeah, 6 on Panda, but Artorias kind of winning this trade, actually.
It's just getting zoned off the wave, though, which is the key thing here. Losing more and more gold. Got a few Kleptomancy stacks there. I
mean, XP is the most important thing when you're a KO. You want, if you're trying to hit level 16, which I think most KO players pretty much are, just every time that you do get bounced off a wave like that, you are sort of going to be feeling it in your core a little bit. But Proper Panda does have the depth charge available. He has the flash as well, so if anyone oversteps, like maybe Diva here,
has been slowed down. That R is available to Mamade, but Shuriken Flip means Diva's going to be able to get enough distance between him and those NVision members. Heads back towards that mid lane for the moment, though. The question is what do Barrage look to do? They, for the moment, have looked to try and just set up this top lane so the KO doesn't get into the game. Artorias comfortably, I say uncomfortably. I say comfortably there and I instantly regretted it. Artorias in a pretty rough spot, but he was aware that that was going to probably be the case when he picks the KO, and he's just going to look to try and keep himself as farmed as possible for the moment.
I mean, both teams are actually pretty okay with the game going sort of longer. You have the Ashe is going to scale up pretty well, but then, of course, the KO as well. Spark is sort of looking for that mid-game spike on the Ezreal once they hit the 2 items, and I think I kind of wanted 2.
D.Va, careful, does get caught up, does get CC'd up, goes forward to the ulti and just picks up a kill onto Mamade. That's going to be an R coming in. He could have to follow up as he goes forward to the perfect execution once again. It's just 1 kill for Barrage already. Do you still have that solar flare coming up in a second? And Proper Panda is going to take the Shuriken flip and the solar flare. Uses his Sonias to keep himself alive for the moment. He goes down as KDO gets himself the kill. D.Va tanking turret will not get picked up today. And Barrage get himself a few plays and a few kills in the mid lane.
And that's how both the teams are sort of... Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Icebreaker just ate Artorias.
Well, hopefully we'll get a replay of how that one happened out at some point. But back to the mid lane for a second. That's just how both teams want to do it. You've got the Crystal Arrow. You've got the Solar Flare. Yeah, just walk 4 people into your mid lane and just start dropping them on someone. Even through the cleanse, you are going to find a kill. You've
CC
got
squad, man.
Enough CC.
I said it. It's the CC squad. Monk is now trying to put some attention onto this Rift Herald. Would be nice for them. Try and get some plates. Already got 3 in the top lane and 3 in the mid lane. Bot lane is mostly untouched for the moment, but they could maybe use this to try and crack some plates there. 35 seconds until that Mountain Drake spawns up as well, make these plays even easier to get. And D.Va, once again, playing up in the lane. Just needs to be a little bit careful as Artorias. He might be on the receiving end of a gank. Does spy out Monk is on a ward, trying to slow him down, but the flash, the knock up, the rupture to follow. An Icebreaker will not get himself the kill as Monkiz gets the kill onto Artorias. 0 and 3. Now KDO is going to have to flash away. The dredge line does connect onto him. The claw's going to come forward. KDO trying to dodge and dive, gets the slows away. Proper Panda takes some serious damage here. The Crystal Arrow was used earlier. Now D.Va's coming in. Fastlink has got that Zenith Blade. Mamade flashes away and Spark has teleported in, trying to get that damage onto D.Va, but he goes into the Shroud. The True Shot Barrage does a lot of damage in, and Antonio is ignited, but Fastlink goes golden. His Shuriken flip away by D.Va. They pin him in place in the tomb. A stun comes down and sacrificing himself for the greater good. Fastlink falls. Might just lose some place here on the turret. The health bars are pretty low and Spark has the poke to work with.
But the tower was taken by Icebreaker top and the Herald will secure another in the mid lane. So you have to say that that is a dub for Barrage. And it's a really weird way to start a fight for NVision because, yes, you blow the flash off KDO. Very important when he's playing in a mobile marksman, but no one had any ults. Like, Proper Panda didn't have the depth charge. Mad by Day didn't have the tomb. Yes, they came up because the fight went so long, but it feels like if they just waited 30 seconds before starting that fight, just go on the next wave instead of that wave, they might have had a much better time of it, and they do pay a very heavy price.
13 minutes on the clock, gold lead, 4,700 in favor of Barrage for the moment. You can see that mid lane is, the deficit here is just so big. KDO playing fairly far back. Both of these teams have a lot of CC to work with, so if you are one of these kind of squishier members, like the Ezreal, like the Ashe, you have to be very careful in these situations, in these games. It looks like for the moment, the Mountain Drake is going to be Barrage's point of attention. May just see some kind of contest come out from NVision, but they are down in gold. It would be a rough fight to take. As the ult economy really starting to come up here for Barrage. They've got all of their ults available, bar that feast. It looks like they are just not going to risk it yet.
Well, Icebreaker does have teleport available, so when that feast comes up, they can pretty much guarantee that they're going to be able to secure that Mountain Drake. And these are some really nice Drake spawning, by the way, for Barrage. You're very happy with those. And an Ashe with a Mountain Dragon, especially if she builds a Blade later on or a Hurricane, is just going to have a real nice time when it comes to the Baron and to those turrets. Remember that her Q does actually rapid fire onto towers as well, so you will just be absolutely melting those if you are able to secure this Drake. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and start it up.
Yeah, they know that teleport's available. They don't need the feast to devour it for the moment. They've got the vision control to work with.
They have no idea.
They're just going to try and pick up this blue buff. That's the best they can hope for in this situation. I'm sure they have a rough idea where they are.
You can sort of assume everyone's missing. It's probably the Drake, right? But
and all your wards just got cleared out around the Drake.
That's a coincidence. No, but if you're in the seat of NVision right now, you sort of have to think, well, how do we come back here? Because it doesn't feel like too much has gone wrong for them, but they are actually down 5,000 gold here. The good news is they have so much engage and force that if one person ever oversteps, maybe someone like D.Va or Monkeys with the big hefty shutdown, that is a way that you can just find your way back into the game. You just drop 5 ults onto one person, you take your extra 300 gold, and then you just rinse and repeat.
Icebreaker has such a big lead on Notorious.
This is...
That is just straight up bullying at this point.
Oh, he's building towards Righteous Glory as well. He's up 2k. And Artorias has Klepto as well. That's meant to be the money rune. You do hate to see it.
I mean, you can't make money when you're dead. And he's been dead a lot. 0 and 3 as Monkeys might just find out Anterio here. Gets himself the knockup. Solar Flare will just slow him down in time. And Monkeys leaps into the fray. Picks himself that kill up nice and simple. Spark has to jump over the wall. Just an easy assassination for Barrage, and now they'll be able to get their last outer turret.
That's Hail of Blades for you. And level 10 is really when a Rek'Sai is going to spike, because on Rek'Sai you want to put 3 points in your Q and then go ahead and max your E. So when you've got Hail of Blades at level 10, you're going to be maxing out that E as well, and you just see exactly how it goes there. 3 fast autos, a Chomp and an ult, and even the Cinderhulk Jarvan falls. Now, because they lose that pressure in the bot side and they have absolutely no vision, another tower is going to go down. And NVision are just going to give it up. And we saw this from NVision in the promotion relegation tournament. Oh, sorry, the promotion relegation tiebreaker when they played against Phelan. And they did something very similar where it was sort of, they just kept letting themselves loose. And it's like, it's fine, we can lose that, we can lose that. And it's like, yeah, you're only dropping, 300, 400 gold here and there. But then it gets to this point where you're down 5,000 gold, 6,000 gold. And you're like, suddenly coming back gets a lot harder. And I'm pretty sure Icebreaker got that Krug just to...
No, he didn't.
He didn't?
Anterio got it.
Oh, but good for you, Anterio.
I mean, this is the power of Icebreaker right now. He's 2 levels up over Artorias. He just has so much zoning priority, but he's comfortably walking up to a Kayle and a Jarvan and saying, what of it?
I mean, he's got 2.5k health and almost finished the Righteous Glory. When the Righteous is finished, he can just run Artorias down. Kayle has a slow and a self-speed and another slow on her ult. And also building to a blade, Cutlass, another slow. A lot of peel tools. Icebreaker will just run him down with the Righteous Glory.
For the moment, Icebreaker is just looking to push in these waves. See, D.Va has gone into the bottom side. So it's a 1-3-1 being started up here by Barrage as we'll quickly zoom down to that bot lane to continue with the split push.
Blame Chronicler again.
I can't blame Chronicler.
Yeah, it was the time where he nudged Will and...
Yeah, because yesterday actually we had Harry, but we'll have to hold that... sorry. Okay, Madei's actually going to have to ult himself here, but there's a lot of members on him for the moment. Shroud's going to buy some time for D.Va. Madei able to make his way out.
Also, Artorias died.
Oh. Yes. Artorias died.
I think I saw someone get an assist, so I'm not sure who that would have been.
KDO has no R.
Don't... Oh, come on.
Did he cross-map him? I want to replay of that. I want to see what happens.
Get some VAR, which, as we all know, is ruining football. But
D.Va takes the claw, has to jump into the Shroud. He's already got pretty low here. And Knockup Monkeys is doing some serious work, though. The dunk comes down, and D.Va's going to get picked up as Monkeys trades out. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of NVision. And now Artorias, he's been run down. No Devour available. Divine Judgment's going to get used to keep Artorias alive for the moment. Now level 11, and he's got the backup coming up. In comes Proper Panda, has that dredge line, and Icebreaker looking to jump away. True Shot Barrage will land onto Icebreaker. Just tickles him as the depth charge is going to follow up. Trying to buy some time here as the rest of the team are making their way up. Fastleg has not got his ultimate quite yet, but he's looking to find himself a knock up on the Artorias, and Icebreaker just buying time. The feast may just come down in time, but it's not enough. Artorias gets a shutdown.
Not quite going to come out there. The Solar Flare just got a few seconds left on its cooldown as well. But now we're going to get replay. Is this going to be the top lane? Yeah, here's KDO.
Yeah,
just chilling,
he shot the ulti.
minding his own business. Then woo! Throws off the arrow, and let's see. Oh, he was recoiling, gets cancelled, then bam.
He was in the bounce house, man. He got completely ruined.
And then Chomp. Pretty clear-cut play there. But
only took you 4 times, but there you go.
Yeah, well, you live and you learn.
So that's a good story, because yesterday we had Will here, who's our other observer on the UKLC normally. He was giving us a few stories. Was Chronicler nudging the Will, like the wackiest thing that you've had?
So many things have gone on in that room. So inappropriate for broadcast. But one of them was, Mal minding his own business, and then just like stretching and just slamming Will's arm across the table. Speaking of slamming people,
oh, big CC chain, and actually Fastlane, he's going to take a true shot. He's going to go low. Artorias here does not have that flash. Tries to slow Monkeys down. In comes KDO though. In comes D.Va on the backline. The flank is pretty big, and Mama Day, he has to make a big play happen here as D.Va is just sliding around the fight. KDO gets himself a double kill, and Mama Day just has to claw away. Barrage find 2.
They find the kills, and they might look for the Baron. Monkeys maybe thinking he's a little bit too low on that one, and NVision recognize this. They're going to move up, see if they can find anything, or at least get some vision.
Oh, jumping over the claw. D.Va goes into the shroud for the moment. Mama Day has to flash over the wall to get away, and that's just going to be KDO on a rampage. Now they're chasing for more. Mama Day flashes away and almost takes a volley to the face. This might just be Baron now.
And that's a miscommunication and a half right there. Artorias had just, again, a few seconds left on the ultimate before Mama Day went in. And they kind of baited each other a little bit here, but teleport comes through from Icebreaker, and there is no way that this Baron can be contested.
You've got the feast, you've got the smite. It's so hard to deal with with D.Va playing the zoning job here. 3K on the Baron. It's all to do for. They land the CC onto D.Va. The depth charge is going to be used. Doesn't have that shroud, but Baron's already been picked up, and now the Ice Arrow is going to connect. Not going to go for more. Barrage quite happy with the Baron. They want to recall and reset the map, but Icebreaker will play defending duty for the moment. He's just too tanky to dive. And NVision, they're just going to have to take a consolation price in the Ocean Drake.
All right, well, I mean, you take what you can get, right? But actually, they might not even be able to get this. A teleport coming from D.Va.
Oh, they're going for multiple teleports. They're going for multiple flanks. Claw's going to come out. D.Va is on that flank here for the moment. Icebreaker looking for the knock-up. The Shuriken flip connects. That's going to be a good ulti out by Mama Day. D.Va gets caught in multiple people, but he shoots through everybody with a perfect execution. 1 kill already been picked up for him. Anterio is going to fall again, and that is going to be a 1 for 3 already, but a triple kill, a quadra kill. Picked up for KDO. It's not going to be the Penta as Monkeys secures one on the bottom side of the map. Proper Panda falls. And our second Penta for the Champions Promo Relegations is stolen from KDO 2 days in a row.
Oh, KDO is an unhappy individual coming into this game. Some might describe him as molding, but you take that fight, a lovely bit of TP flanked coming from both those teams. And Artorias trying to match the teleport, but just coming in so much later than everyone else that he eventually finds himself stuck in the fight. We are going to get a replay. So D.Va's already finished his teleport, and then KDO is coming on in. And when we get to the end of it, I want to know that it definitely looked like Monkeys could have given that. And I think he tried to a little bit, but we see with a lovely ult from D.Va there, just to chunk everyone so low, which sets it up very nicely for KDO with the Hurricane. Basically gets 2 kills with 1 auto, I think it was there. Secures that, and then look, he stops auto, he's like, do I do it? All right, and takes it.
He baited him. I reckon Comps was like, come down here for your
like
Penta.
50-50.
And then he's like, nah, don't worry about it. Chance of Crystal Arrow is going to hit no one.
Oh, no, the shopkeeper. Oh.
He dodged it.
Oh, he juked it. All right. Oh, he must have seen something, the shopkeeper. That's just, for the last 10 years, he's just been watching people beat each other up.
We've had different shopkeeper.
Well, yeah, there's been 4?
Yeah, I think so.
For each base. There was the little goblin dude.
Yeah.
There was whoever it was in the beta, and then the old map, and then this map.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because one of the theories is the shopkeeper on blue side is future Teemo.
The shopkeeper's the yak, and the guy's just there.
Oh, okay.
That's my headcanon.
Well, turrets are already being sieged up here by Barrage. Mid lane tier 3 currently being chipped away. Monkeys is just Baron buffing the super minions in, and now he's going to have to jump away. Uses his tunnel. He's able to make his way out nice and simple. Mama Day has just burned the ultimate. No Glacial Prison available to them. An open inhibitor in the mid lane as well here. This might just be the game as Barrage looking to close this out in 23 minutes versus NVision. Starting to get really hairy here. NVision have to make some kind of a big play happen if they want to try and pull this back. The minions are just melting to Barrage, and their turrets are doing the same. True Shot Barrage clips onto 2 members as Icebreaker silences a few members for himself. Shuriken flip by D.Va to spread out some room and poke a little bit onto Interior, but for the moment they're just using the power of this Baron, using the weakness of NVision's wave clears. An arrow connects. That's going to be the ulti into the Divine Judgment, trying to catch multiple people out. A shutdown has already been picked up by Artorias for 1, but it's a 2-for-1 fight already. NVision are starting to come out on top. D.Va has to jump away with the perfect execution. The claw is following up for more. NVision are looking to turn this around. D.Va is trying to make a grand escape, but he's had to flash away. The claw to follow onto him, and Man My Day is hungry for the kill. Not gonna find it. 4 members of Barrage go down, and NVision cling to life.
And that's what we mean about this engage combo. You have the KO and you have the Jarvan. If you get the combo, you get the kills, and now they're going to look for one more.
D.Va is going to have to get the knock up here. The true shot will not land on time. D.Va may just try and get this. He's going to land a shuriken flip onto Ontario, getting that healing off for the moment. He's sliding and gliding and getting the outplay. D.Va is going to get himself a double kill. 1 versus 2. That's the mid laner we picked up.
Oh, what a turnaround. It looked like they were guaranteed the kill, especially with the true shot coming in. But D.Va is able to salvage something from that fight. But it's so important to note, all the kills went onto Artorias and Spark, and Artorias was even able to pick up the 1000 shutdown off of KDO in that fight. They had such a strong engage with the Jarvan KO combo, and even though they didn't do too much damage with
Divine
it,
cataclysm.
they just soaked so much. And see, this is the replay of D.Va getting the 1v2. I don't know if Antero had his red smite up at this time, but we saw him use it really late. True shot comes in, and D.Va very smart to dodge it out, but he's still hiding inside the shroud here. And see, if Antero had the red smite like here or something, maybe he gets the kill. But
he did smite.
He smites, but he only gets 1 auto in afterwards, and then we see obviously the Hex deck come through here, but so much healing from the fleet and from the Hex deck that D.Va is able to take that, what was really ended up being 2 1v1s as opposed to a proper 1v2.
At least, though, for NVision, they hold on to the game for the moment because they were staring defeat in the face there. That was the final siege from Barrage, but we're able to stave it off. The true shot Barrage is going to land onto KDO and the minions just to do a little bit of work here. Icebreaker, he feels pretty comfortable just to walk the minion wave up into Artorias' face, and Barrage don't have Baron anymore, so their minions are being taken out fairly quickly. The knockup will land onto 1 by Icebreaker, but the wave clear is being spread thin by NVision.
This isn't even too bad for NVision, because now you have 2 waves of supers coming in. That's a lot of XP that Artorias can get very easily. When you have these waves coming out from the KO, you're clearing them pretty fast, pretty safely, and it's just so much XP that's going to get you straight to that level 16 point. You also see Guinsoo's picked up as well. Really going to help with clearing these supers. And then the team fights, the second Artorias gets 16, this game almost becomes even, despite the 9,000 gold deficit.
All right, well, Baron spawning. They don't want to let that happen. Barrage. Do you know there's 1 wave inside the pit? They use the pink, and now NVision, they have to answer out. D.Va playing a zoning job here for the moment, trying to make sure that no one from NVision can make it. 7k
Spark.
onto Baron.
No, all right.
True shot Barrage will spot out at least 4 members and the Baron. And I think NVision are just going to have to give this up.
Yeah, it's just got to go ahead and hand that one over. I saw Spark's ult go on cooldown. I was like, oh, he's doing it. And I was like, oh, Baron's on 6k. So not quite going to be able to steal that one away. But now it gets slightly worse for NVision, as it often tends to when the Baron goes down, because Artorias isn't going to be able to clear these quite so easily. Especially now that the KO doesn't do true damage on the waves anymore. But it looks like Barrage just want to see if they can end this ASAP as KDO teleports back into that top lane. They're not even going to properly reset. I think KDO just went back to grab the QSS just to make sure that he was completely safe through all these fights. Does not want to get Lysandra ulted, and they're going to look to try close out the match.
Trying to bring the Baron minions up forward here from that mid lane. Monkeys is working the wave up. You can see Icebreaker in the bot lane. The inhibit's already respawned mid lane for the moment, so 1 less point of strength here for Barrage, but they have already got the Baron on their big tanky boy up there. True shot Barrage is going to get used to trying to do some damage to the wave, and D.Va and KDO just working the waves up slowly. Inhib's already getting focused out here by Icebreakers. He lands a knock up onto Artorias.
He's a big boy.
Trying to force out that Divine Judgment early, but Artorias is doing some serious damage here. Takes another knock up. Icebreaker is going to get dunked in for the moment, but look at KDO on the flank. Also, you need to keep your eyes onto D.Va, who's just split pushing away. Divine Judgment's going to get used. Crystal Arrow goes a little bit wide, and the knock up lands, but they're going to teleport another member in. The GA's been used. D.Va joining into the fight. KDO QSS is the ulti from Man My Day. Now it's NVision who are on the receiving end of all of the pain, of all of the damage from Barrage. They get themselves 2. They get themselves an inhibitor, and Icebreaker teleports back in. He's one chunky boy, and he's looking for a knock-up onto Artorias. Anterio gets himself a flag and a drag forward, but he is being chunked out by KDO on this Ashe. So much slow, so much damage coming out from the Ranger here. So Icebreaker just catching the wave, working it forward. Ontario trying to do some damage to Icebreaker, but like I said, that's a chunky Cho'Gath. That's a Cho'Gath doing some serious damage, some serious work for the team. The turrets are going to fall. The Nexus has been exposed, and it's going to be a flash forward from Artorias. He's found one already, not going to find more. Ontario's got a massive health bar, but Fastlane is onto the Nexus. Can they hold the game? A solar flare comes down. Icebreaker is still so tanky. Can they hold the game here? Icebreaker has no beast. He's got a double kill. He's going all the way. The Nexus is still going to be focused out here by Icebreaker. There is no ult available. He's going for the glory. He's going for the kills. 29 minutes on the clock. And Barrage in a slugfest take out NVision.
Oh my god, that was so close. He started going for kills at the end, like, no, they're respawning. But he's just so big. I mean, we saw in that final fight, it looked rough. He went forward, took so much damage, basically for free. But what was important is he got the Divine Judgment blown. So he goes, yep, that's me. Even though he's got Warmlogs, he says, nah, don't even need it. I'll just recall, TP back into the fight on full health. You have no KO ult. That's the most important part of your team. And now we'll win the fight, even if it took sort of 2 minutes.
It was that and the Cataclysm as well. He got the Cataclysm out, so there was just like massive tool there for how NVision actually held that game for another 9 minutes. Was entirely off the back of the not that one. It was like 7 minutes, but off the back of the Divine Cataclysm, doing so much work for them, locking members in, making sure that the Jarvan doesn't die, and just bursting out the members of Barrage. But Barrage, you have to give it to them. Their solo lanes looked on fire in that game. And this is the best of three, so still more to come from these teams. But NVision, they need to take a look at these solo lanes. And like we were saying, maybe attacking some of these kind of weaker points, you know, Artorias is fairly wacky champ. I mean, I did say that the Kayle should be one they should respect ban, but looks like that's not going to be the case there. Well, they let it through and they go, no, we'll just camp it. It's fine.
He's 1 for 2 on Kales so far. At least we know that Artorias is never going to have an average performance on the Kayle. You're getting... When you get Artorias' Kayle, you know what you're getting into. Not exactly. You just know that there's going to be a big KDA. It might be negative, but...
I was about to say, the KDA is going to be in double digits somewhere. It's one way or the other, really.
It's a 3 significant figure KDA. But to be honest, even at the end, he managed to bring it back quite a bit. I thought in that final fight, like you said, the Cataclysm came out, and that looked like it was almost really good for NVision, because Monkeys went in, and it's like, if you're Barrage, no, the play is just blow cooldowns and then back off with the Warmog's healing. Monkeys went in and then had to immediately flash back out, and at that point I'm thinking, oh, okay, this might actually be the play for NVision. But then we see, obviously, you go back, you teleport back, you're full health, Bob's your uncle. But that lane was just so rough for Artorias, so well played as well. I don't think we saw a single rupture miss.
No, he was landing so much kind of like poke in the laning phase onto Artorias. And I think Monkeys also played really well around him. He set him up for success. He went, D.Va's fine on his lane. Bot lane, I have faith they'll come back once level 6 is hit and once they've got the big CC ultis. Want to make sure that this Kayle is out of the game for as long as possible. And you saw there were glimmers where it was like, Artorias is starting to get kind of fed right now, but it was kind of like too little too late.
Yeah.
And that stems off the fact that Monkeys played very well around his top side of the map. So I think coming into game 2, if you're Barrage, you really want to look at these solo lanes and look to set them up for success. You can't go for the negating Lissandra versus the Akali because it didn't work. It still lost on the champion, but, you know, tries its best just to negate the Akali.
Yeah.
You pick a scaling top laner, and Icebreaker just goes, I'll play Cho'Gath and just play a scaling tank and just be that effective frontline, but won't let you into the game and won't let you get that damage onto my carries. So I think looking into next game, maybe pick something Artorias, but he can play aggressive early on.
Maybe.
Try and see if he can get his colors to shine that way. But we're going to cut to a break, and when we're back with game 2 of this series, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you for game 2 of Barrage versus NVision.